About slope, and slope kind of tells, in normal life, slope means like how steep a hill is, right? So that's kind of what it means in lines, but it's in lines it's a number. So let's say I have this line right here is going through these 2 points. Okay, slope in algebra is equal to the rise over the run. What do you think I mean by rise?
It goes up.
How much it goes up, and what do you think it means by run? How much it goes over. So it's a ratio that compares how fast it's going up to how fast it's going over. So if there's a picture, you can kind of figure out the slope by counting how much it's rising and running between any 2 points on the line. Any 2 points on the line should give it to you. Yeah, and draw a straight line there. Okay. So like if I have these 2 points, the rise, how much is it going up right there? 2. 1, 2. How much is it running? How much is it going over? 3. So the slope is rise 2, run 3, so it would be 2/3. Okay, so what happens if I make it steeper? I'll get rid of all this stuff. Yeah, I should have just done a separate graph, I guess. Okay, what will happen to the number if I make it steeper? Let's say it's going from 0, 0. Okay, now what's the rise? 3, and what's the run? 1. So the slope is 3 over 1, or 3. Okay, so if the line gets steeper, what's happening to the slope? Getting bigger. Okay, well, what if the line's going, let's say, from here to here? I missed. Okay, now what's the rise?
-4.
Yeah, if it's going down, this would be more like a -4. And what's the run?
2.
Positive 2. So the slope is -4 over 2, which is, yeah, it does reduce to -2. Okay, so if the line is falling from left to right, then the slope's going to be negative. Yeah.
Do you always have to start on the left?
No. So if we go backwards, now what's the rise?
4.
4. What's the run?
2.
-2.
Which would be the
So now the slope is 4 over -2, which
So it
is
doesn't matter what way you do it.
which is -2. No. I always think left to right because that's kind of like how we read, I guess, left to right. So if you think left to right, then the falling line has a negative slope, the rising line has a positive slope. So if this is positive and this is negative, what if it's like right in the middle, like this? Say the line just, this would be like the line, we talked about this yesterday, like y equals 2, because all the y values are 2. Anybody want to guess what that slope is? Well, from here to here, what's the rise?
1.
No, 0. What's the run? 1. Or if you do here to here, 0 and 2, or 0 and 3. So what's 0 divided by anything?
0.
0. So if you have a horizontal line, the slope is 0. Kind of makes sense, right? Because slope is for something that actually is slanted. But yeah, 0 slope, but a little bit weird when you go vertical though. If you have a vertical line, this would be the line x equals 2 because all the x values on this line are 2. 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, -1. If I go from here to here, what's the rise? 1. What's the run? 0. What's 1 divided by 0?
0.
Doesn't exist. Nonsense. Like if you plug this in your calculator, it would say error. It's like saying one cookie divided among 0 people. How many cookies does each person have? There aren't any people, so it doesn't make sense. Anyways, it doesn't work. So what our book, some books put no slope. Our book puts undefined slope. Some books write no slope. I wouldn't count that wrong either. But that is different than a 0 slope, okay? So horizontal is 0 slope, vertical lines, undefined is what I'm going to put. Okay, well, what if I know a couple points that are on the line, and I want to know what's the slope between these 2 points? Well, do I have to graph it? No, you do not have to graph it. There is a slope formula. I'll probably write this on the board over there. But, so slope is equal to rise over run, right? The rise, if you think about it, the rise is the change in the y values. It's how much the y values are changing. And the run is how much the x values change. So the slope formula, the rise is the change in the y values. And the run is the change in the x values. So it's y minus y over x minus x. What do these little 2's and 1's mean?
No idea.
It means like the second y minus the first y, and the second x minus the first x. You could say y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2. So this first point I wrote down might be called x1, y1, and this one might be x2, y2. So if I was doing the slope for this one, I could do 4 minus 2, those are the y's, you gotta put the y's on top, over, you gotta go the same direction. If I go y2 minus y1, I gotta do x2 minus x1. So -1 minus 3. So that would be 2, -4, or if you can reduce it, you need to reduce it, just like always fractions. So -1/2 slope. That tells me it's going down, and it's not going down very fast. Like that. What if I subtracted the other direction? Would I get the same answer?
Yes.
I should have left that up there. If I can. Okay, if I do y minus y, 2 minus 4 over 3 minus -1. 2 minus 4, -2. 3 minus -1. So yeah, you do get the same answer. The top and bottom are opposite of, but kind of comes out the same anyway, right? The one thing you can't do if you go y2 minus y1, you can't go x1 minus x2. That wouldn't give you the wrong answer. So just make sure you're going the same direction with both the x's and the y's. But it shouldn't matter which way you go. All right. That's enough. Well, you don't need the graph paper till the last 4, so do not do your entire assignment on the graph paper. Please.
What?
Owen and Brooke.
What? What?
Yes, it was you. Number 1. Okay, so we got like 6 options here. Line A, B, C, D, E, and F. Which lines have a negative slope? There's more than one answer. A and D. Do you guys know how they knew that? Negative slopes, the lines are going down from left to right. Negative slopes are going down from left to right. So they said A and D. Okay, number 3. Which line has a slope of 0?
E.
Let's see. Yes, E. A horizontal line has a slope of 0. So E is the only answer on that one. Most of these have one answer. 4 has a couple answers. It's kind of like number 1, but backwards. Number 5, which line has the slope with the greatest absolute value? So absolute value means if it was negative, it would be positive. But what do we know about lines with really high slope values? No. Well, or the absolute value is really high. If we had a slope of a big slope, what should the line look like? Okay. Well, I talked about it at the beginning. It was, I don't know if it's still up there or not. Yeah, I kind of moved it. We talked about when the line is steeper, the slope is larger. If the line is steeper going down, it would just be a large negative slope, but the absolute value would still make it a big number. Okay, so basically what they mean is the largest slope will have the greatest, will be the steepest line. So which line is the steepest?
D or B?
B is, well, what's B slope?
Undefined.
Undefined, so that doesn't count. But yeah, D would have the largest absolute value slope. It would be negative, but when you make its absolute value, it would be some large value.
Wait, how do we know it's negative again?
If it's going, lines that go down from left to right have a negative slope.
So if it's right to left, it's positive. Right.
If the line is going up from left to right, think, you know how we read a book like this, right, or a sentence like that? So if the line is going up from left to right, like the car is going up the hill, it's a positive slope. This is a negative slope. Going like that. All right. Number 7, find the slope. So what you have to do on these is identify 2 points on the line so we can find the slope between those 2 points. And that will be the slope of the line. So can you guys identify any points that are definitely on the line? 0, 1, yeah, that looks like a point that's on the line. Say it again.
3, 3.
You mean negative 3, 3?
Yeah.
Negative 3, 3, yeah, that looks like a point up there. Okay. Something like that. I think there's another point at, was it 1, 2, 3, negative 1? Like right here. Okay, anyway, we only need 2 points. So what's the rise between these, I'll do these 2 points. What's the rise between these two? Negative 2. What's the run? 3. So the slope, rise over run, negative 2 over 3, negative 2/3. If any part of the fraction is negative, the numerator or the denominator, the whole fraction is negative. So just put the negative in the middle. Well, what if I had used these 2 points instead of these 2? Okay, now what's the rise? Negative 4, and the run? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Still be negative 2 thirds.
Yeah, negative 4, 6. It's the same ratio. Still reduces to negative 2/3. So it doesn't really matter what 2 points you use. It always works. Number 9. What's an easily identifiable point on number 9?
3, 1.
3, 1.
0, 0.
0, 0. Okay, what's the rise?
1,
1. What's the run?
3,
3. So the slope is
1/3.
rise over run, 1/3.
Wait, so why was that other one
Okay, so when I said the rise, I think James said it's -4. Because we're not really rising here, we're going down
Oh, you're
4.
going down to, okay.
And in a +6. And if you go backwards, you're going +4, but then you're going negative.
Okay.
So anyway, if the line is falling, you should get a negative, if you do it right. If you see that you have a falling line, but you didn't get a negative slope, you need to change it to negative. All right.
What do you do for an undefined line?
We're just right, undefined. Number 11, what's the slope on a vertical line?
No slope.
Undefined, or no slope, but I'm gonna put undefined. That's because that's what this book does, so I'm just gonna try best to stick with it. Okay, number 13. Find the slope of the line passing through the given points. Okay, how do we do that? Plug into the slope formula. It's y minus y over x minus x. Y minus y, x minus x. Usually if people get these wrong, it's because they put the x's on top. So the y's are the second number, right? Ordered pairs, they're in alphabetical order. X, y. Like x, y, z. So anyway, we have to do 5 minus 9, or you could do 9 minus 5, I guess, if you don't want to do the negative version. If you do 9 minus 5 on top, then you do 3 minus 2 on bottom. Okay, it was 2, 5, and 3, 9. So I did 9 minus 5 over 3 minus 2. 9 minus 5 is 4, 3 minus 2 is 1. What's 4 over 1 is 4. All right, 15. Somebody help me out. How would we set up 15? Same thing.
It would be 7 minus 7 and 3 minus 2.
Yep, you can do that. 7 minus 7 over 3 minus 2. So that would be 0 over 1, which equals 0. It's a horizontal line. They have the same y value. What if it had been 1 over 0? What should I put? Undefined. 1 over 0 would be a vertical line. So if you plug 1 over 0 in your calculator, it will say error. If you plug 0 divided by 1 in your calculator, it'll say 0. Okay, number 17. Sophia, how would I set that one up? Yep. Okay, remember when you subtract a negative, that's actually a plus, right? So that would be 7 over 7, which reduces to 1.
Wait, how is it 6 minus -1? Or are we just doing -1 minus -6?
-1 minus 6, yeah, you can go that way. It doesn't matter which
Oh, it
direction you
doesn't
go. As long as you go the same way both times. Number 19. Jonathan, what would that one be? Or how do we set it up?
Negative 3 minus 7 and 1 minus 5.
Yep. -3 minus 7. -10. 1 minus 5 is -4. What's that going to equal? Negative divided by negative is positive.
5 over 2.
Yeah, 10 and 4 are both reduced, divided by 2. So it's positive 5 over 2. Okay, 21. Bo, how would 21 set up?
You do 7 minus 2,
Yep.
and then you do -1 minus 3.
Yes. So at 7 minus 2 is 5. -1 minus -1, or -1 plus 1, 0. 5 divided by 0,
Undefined.
undefined on the vertical lines. Yes, amount of room. Okay. Leah, do you know how 23 should set up?
-2.5 plus 4.5.
No, minus 4.5. Put a minus in between. Over what?
7.25.
Okay, so if you go -2.5 minus 4.5 on the y's, then on the x's you should go 4.75 minus 7.25 for the x's. Did I say y's up here? Yeah, these are the y's on top, these are the x's on bottom. Okay, since they're negative and minus, they kind of add together, so that would be -7 on top. And on bottom, I'd be like -2.5. Okay, well, we don't want any decimals in our fractions. There's a couple ways you could do this. Wait, did I get that right? 23? No, they just changed the whole thing to a decimal, I guess. I was gonna say you multiply by 10, and it'd be like 70 and 25, and then reduce by dividing by 5. Remember, multiplying by 10 moves the decimal over once. It looks like they didn't do that though. That'd be 14/5. They just put 2.8. So I guess that's okay. Let's see if that happens on evens. Yeah, it's okay on the evens. Okay, 25 is graphing. It says graph the line passing through the given point with the given slope. So what that means is we're going to start at the point 3, 1. I'm looking at 25. So go ahead and put a point at 3, 1. Alright, and then we're going to use the slope, which they said, for some reason they like to use m to stand for the slope. I don't know why. We're going to use the slope to help us find a couple more points and then draw the line. Okay, so this is the point on the line that they gave us, 3, 1. We're going to use the slope to help us find some more lines. Okay, remember slope is rise over run. Well, what do I do with this negative? Well, you can put it on top, so it's like -1/4, or you can put it on bottom, so it's like 1/-4. But since it's a negative slope, the line should be going in what direction if it's a negative slope? It should be like this. Okay. Now, if I put the negative on top, the rise is -1 and the run is 4. So I'm going to rise -1, down 1, and run +4. So there's another point on the line. Now I could keep going. I could go down 1 over 4 again, but that's kind of off my graph. So another option, and I want you to do 3 points on these guys. Another option is to use this instead. This means rise +1 and run -4. These are all the same. All three of these are the same. So what happens if I go up 1 and then left 4? It's over here. Is that on the same line? Yes, it is on the same line. Okay, 27. We're starting at 2, -5. Where's 2, -5 at? Kind of down and to the right, right, or right and down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the slope is 3 over 2. What does that tell me to do?
Go up 3 over 2.
Right. It means rise 3, run 2. Up 3, right 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And I can go up again at the same ratio. Should be on the same line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Rise 3, run 2. Rise 3, run 2. Do you guys know how I could go backwards on this one? 3 over 2 is the same thing as -3 over -2. Because a negative divided by negative equals a positive. So that should be the same thing as going, instead of up 3, right 2, you could go down 3, back 2. You can go opposite. And it's on the same line. So you only need 3 points on these, but. Huh? Well, there's a y-intercept right here, but we don't have to. Looks like a fraction. Oh, yeah, this is a y-intercept right there. All right, that's all she wrote.